Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanu Purnam Radha Dasyam Pradayakam Nirupānugacchārya Varyamburupa Manjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Karunyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shikara Ismira Hasra Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Brindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshavasicha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramu 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatam Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Sata Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva, and to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavata Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So we will continue reading the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to the 11th verse. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was discussing about the qualities of the spiritual body received by the gopis. And so after giving up their material bodies, they were given one spiritual body by Yogamaya. So in this way, we can never say that the relation between gopis and Krishna was based on material sense gratification, because they were having relationship with Krishna based only on transcendental body. So they had only one body. According to the Sanskrit verse, it says they had only one body. It means their body was fully transcendental. Some people say that Yogamaya, she made the material body of the gopis disappear and then replaced them with another body. Others say that the material body were contaminated by the three modes of material nature. So even if we do not accept that, actually those bodies were material. So why the phrase Gunamaya is used very often? Before the gopis heard the sound of the flute, their bodies were divided into two parts, Gunamoy and Chinmoy, material and transcendental. So in this connection, the Srimad Bhagavatam 11:42 says, Bhakti Parishanubhavo Viraktir. In same way that if someone takes a mouthful of food, becomes satisfied, in same way the devotees who engaged in Prema Bhakti, the manifestation of Krishna's loving form and also the renunciation of the material enjoyment will arise simultaneously. So it means as you are eating, automatically your hunger is going to be subsided. According to this logic, the material body is reduced as bhakti increases. And when prema appears, then the material aspect of the body is completely destroyed. And then the transcendental body totally manifests. Just like Krishna, he displayed the destruction of the material body of the Jadavas in this Nara Leela. In the same way, he destroyed the gross bodies of the gopis through his illusory energy. And the reason is that he wants to delude the atheists and also to protect the confidentiality of bhakti. To establish the superiority of bhakti, sometimes the devotee can go to the spiritual world in the same gross body, like in the case of Dhruva Maharaj. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:25-32, it is said that, "O gentle Uddhav, one who practices bhakti yoga with complete faith conquer the material modes arising in the mind, and that pure devotee can attain me in dasya, sakya, or any other relationships." So it shows that the practice of bhakti yoga can destroy the material qualities and defeat the material modes. In this way, that very intense fire, which came from the separation between the gopis and Krishna, removed all the gopis' inauspiciousness. So in this way, all the material aspect of their bodies were purified. And in their meditation, they got the embrace of Krishna. By that, their auspiciousness only increased, which means that their bodies became completely spiritual. So by receiving the favor of Yogamaya, they were liberated from the bonds of ignorance and from the obstacles put by their husbands. So in this way, we cannot say that they died, because Krishna himself says in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-37, "All those gopis who were stopped by their husbands, they were not able to join me on the night of Rasa dance, but they attained me in their own houses. At the beginning of the very auspicious Rasa festival, I did not agree to their dying," Krishna says. So in this way, the gopis, they did not die, but they made those bodies completely transcendental at once. So Shukadeva Goswami said, when those gopis heard the message of Krishna from the mouth of Uddhav, their previous memories were awakened. In the verse of Bhagavatam 10:47-38, it refers exactly to those gopis who were locked in their houses by their husbands. They did not die, but actually their subtle and material body were removed. In this way, in this context, the word dehatyaga means to give up the body, and means receiving the spiritual body, not actually dying. Then he makes so many references to different words and also verses to justify that from other parts of Bhagavatam. So when a gardener sees that 7 or 8 mangoes on a tree are almost ripe, he concludes that all the fruits on that tree are also almost ripe. So he collects all of them and keeps them at home, and gradually, by the influence of the sun rays, the mangoes will become totally ripe. They will become very colorful, very fragrant, and very juicy. In this way, the king can enjoy them. And the servant of the king will come and he will start selecting those who are ready to be eaten by the king and offered to him. So in the same way, in Gokula, some of the Munichari gopis, they took birth with a complete, pure, transcendental body. And they were not touched by any man. Therefore, Yogamaya, she helped them and took them to the meetings with Krishna, along with the Nityasiddha gopis. So from the other hand, those Munichari gopis who externally maintained some attachment to their material bodies, they were placed by Yogamaya in the fire of separation. And by that, all their remaining attachments were totally eradicated by the flames of that fire. So after that, they received their pure spiritual bodies, with which they could go and meet with Krishna for the remaining nights of Rasa Lila. After this, the Sadhana Siddha gopis, who enjoyed the Rasa pastimes, they returned to their homes to be with their husbands. Also, the Nityasiddha gopis, they did the same. So from that time, Yogamaya protected them from being touched by their husbands, because they had no more any sense of belonging to their husbands, sons, and family. Because they were completely overwhelmed by Krishna Prema, even their breast milk dried up and they were unable to nourish their babies. All the family ties were completely cut by Krishna Prema. So the family members thought they may be under the influence of some dark planet or any other thing, or maybe they became mad. So therefore they remained silent regarding this. In this way, it ends the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to the verse 11. Now the verse number 12. Sri Parikshitu Vacha Krishnam Vidu Param Kantam Natu Brahmataya Mune Guna Pravaha Paramas Tasham Guna Diyam Katam. Sri Parikshit Maharaj asked, O great sage, the Brajaramanis knew Shri Krishna only as their beloved. They never saw him as the Supreme Spirit. Because they were totally attached to Krishna's qualities, they were actually how they were able to become detached from the influence of the three modes of material nature. Very often, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad Vaishnava Toshani. The name Parikshit is explained in this way. Pari means from every angle, and Ikshate means he knows everyone's mood. So Maharaj Parikshit knew Shri Krishna as a Supreme Spirit. That is to say that he knew the power of his mercy and his inconceivable glories. However, there were some sincere devotees also present in that same assembly with him. And although they had become detached from the material world, still they had some doubts in their hearts. So they believed in the power of Krishna's mercy and the greatness of bhakti, but they were doubtful about this Krishna's confidential pastimes. So in this way, Parikshit Maharaj expressed this question in order to remove their uncertainty. So we have to understand that in that assembly of Bhagavatam, there were many different types of people hearing the Harikatha from Shukadeva Goswami. There were Brahmagyanis, Karmis, Yogis, Acceptists, so many types of people. Everyone with different level of understanding regarding bhakti, regarding what is the absolute truth, what is the ultimate destination of life. And especially some people were skeptical about Krishna's intimate relation with the gopis. So specifically, Parikshit Maharaj, he presented this doubt from the point of view of a Brahmagyani. So the Brahmagyanis, they very rarely attain liberation. So how the gopis, they could attain liberation through their amorous desires when they did not even understand Krishna as Bhagavan. So and then Shukadeva Goswami, who is the best of all sages, he understood the motive behind Parikshit Maharaj's question. And he was able to remove the doubt of those sincere devotees, and at the same time, he was condemning those averse to bhakti. Shukadeva Goswami, he gave two different answers. One for the sincere devotees and another one for those who are not able to understand bhakti properly. The answer for the sincere persons is like that. The gopis, they gave up their remaining material body, then automatically they were able to become free from the influence of those material bodies. So now another question may come. Everyone knows that the material body is made out of three modes of nature. So why it has to be emphasized again with the word gunamoy deha? So how was the gopis' subtle material body removed if they only knew Krishna as their ultimate lover, not as Brahma himself? And how the gopis were able to cut all their material attachments if they were relating to Krishna in a material way, in a lusty way. Actually, the gopis who performed the Rasa Lila with Krishna, they had fully transcendental bodies. And the gopis who were remaining at home, they got this spiritual body much later on, as we have seen in the previous verse of this explanation. The meaning is that the gopis, they only knew Krishna as their beloved. They did not know anything about Krishna as being the absolute truth. Krishna has such amazing qualities which can even make the impersonalists very much attracted to him. In this way, the gopis, they were having one-pointed prema for Krishna. So now the conclusion is that if Krishna is transcendental and the gopis have a transcendental relation with him, it means the gopis themselves must be also transcendental. So another question may come. The sadhana siddha gopis, they were not situated in the transcendental bodies. So they have to give up those material bodies first. But the transcendental attributes, they are permanent, they're eternal. So how they could possibly have attained it? So the answer is that For those who worship Brahma, Krishna manifests only his effulgence. But this is not the case of the gopis. Krishna appeared before them in his full, complete, all attributes. So the worshippers of Brahma, they are in the mode of goodness. So it is possible for them to be free from the material bodies, material modes. So in this way, there was no need to renounce the transcendental qualities of Bhagavan. The qualities that are related to the gopis' eternal forms are intrinsic to those forms. So it is impossible that the eternal body, which has its own inherent qualities, will be ever destroyed. So I will try to explain better with simple words. What he's saying here is that the Brahmagyanis, in order to achieve Brahma, they have to give up their material bodies. They have to achieve this spiritual body in another realm, which is the Brahma itself, which does not exist in this material world. But the gopis, they achieved Bhagavan Shri Krishna in this material world itself. The doubts of the Brahmagyanis were that how the gopis they could do like so if they were still having this material body. So that is what Parikshit Maharaj is feeling coming from the Brahmagyanis in the audience. So then comes the answer, which is that the gopis they have achieved their transcendental bodies here on this world itself. Therefore, they were able to join and serve Krishna. So another question may also arise. The gopis knew only Krishna as their beloved. They did not see him as the all-pervading Brahma. So as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Jejatamam prapadyante, I reciprocate with the devotees according to the way they worship me. The gopis, they would never be able to reciprocate with the Brahma because they only knew Krishna's personal form as Bhagavan. They only knew Krishna as being very handsome, expert lover. So in this way, how they could give up such transcendental qualities related to their eternal forms? Also, in which way did they meet with Bhagavan? So these are all the questions which came in this particular shloka made by Parikshit Maharaj. And then the answer will come in the next shloka. So still we have the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarartha Darshini. So Parikshit Maharaj, he saw on the faces of those present in the assembly that some of them were indifferent to bhakti. And they were having some doubts in their hearts. Although Parikshit Maharaj had already understood the essence of the katha by the mercy of Shukadeva Goswami, he was actually presenting the doubt of someone else, not his own doubt. So therefore he says, O sage, Shri Krishna is the super soul and also the supreme Godhead. But these gopis, they only knew him as their intimate lover. They did not recognize him as a supreme spirit, Parabrahma. Actually, the gopis, their mood was that we enjoy to be with Krishna. In this way, how they could be free from the influence of the three modes of material nature. But then the Shrutis and the Smritis, they declare that only by knowing the Supreme Lord, we can become liberated. Also, in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-24, it says that one who knows you as the Super Soul, he can attain liberation. The basic understanding of the Vedas is that you have to see Krishna as God, not as your beloved, in order to attain liberation. So in this way, this is the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So we are going to stop here. Vanchakapatarubhya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.